Yeah. I have some people say it's asthma or something, but I've never had one of those little machines.
Yeah, it could be just background noise. The mic's picking it up.
Oh yeah, another thing I want to tell you is I don't really show my face because it distracts me from what I'm saying.
That's perfectly fine by me. I don't care. So we're live today. I've got this gentleman on to discuss religion. It's originally intended to be debate, but I think I'm going to let him have the floor. We can start talking about his experience with Jehovah's Witnesses and whatnot, and we'll lead from there.
How's everyone doing? Everyone's probably thinking, how did this crazy person get a platform? Some of you know me, and some of you stopped me before you got a chance. I just wanted to say that I'm consider myself the leader of the former Jehovah's Witnesses, even though they shun me. My form of insanity, my brand of reality. Uh, my own kind shun me, and especially the Jehovah's Witnesses. That's where I came from. They excommunicated me because I was too radical. I wanted to take their religion into places it's never been before. So now I worship like the Jehovah's Witnesses, but with a little twist. So I'll let Agnosis ask me anything.
What's the twist in the general belief system as compared to like what's your belief system compared to the original Jehovah doctrine?
Well, they teach that they are going to be survivors of Armageddon, which is the end of the world. But my message is that no flesh will be saved. God has no people on earth. That's including the Jehovah's Witnesses. That's including me. He has no allies on earth. They killed his son, Jesus Christ, and that was the last straw. These are the dark ages. But he will start all over. He's going to burn it all, but he's going to resurrect his zombies, which are the Jews.
So essentially, going to hit the reset button, and the only ones that are going to be brought back are the Jews.
Yes, and the Gentiles, the ones that joined the cult of Jesus in the first century.
Oh yeah, I heard you. Just distracted by something. Sorry about that. Yeah, I think that's the first time I ever heard somebody take that aspect of religion to that extent. Most people I hear, especially in the Judeo-Christian area, they talk about the end of the world, the apocalypse or Armageddon, whatever, what have you. They always say whatever religion they happen to be a part of, that is a religion that's going to be withheld from God's fury, I suppose. So I think it's the first time I heard somebody basically say everybody's going down the crapshoot.
Yeah, I don't believe in the rapture.
Is that something that's traditionally held by Jehovah's Witnesses, or is that more of a Christian, like with Lutheran and that aspect of Christianity?
Yes, it's the Christianity believes that children are going to get a pass, but I don't believe that.
Why do you say that?
Well, I believe the parents. That's why nobody likes my preaching. I think the parents are going to take the responsibility, the blame for their children being destroyed by Jesus because the parents are lying to the children.
Lying to the children in regards to.
Everything about this world. They're misleading
So,
themselves and they're misleading their children.
and due to the misleading that is essentially leading the children into what is almost what would you consider original sin?
No, well, the original sin was partaking of the fruit of the knowledge of good and bad.
Oh yeah, for the tree of knowledge.
But I feel that wasn't a real big sin. The sin was bringing life into this world and playing God's game, entering suffering into the world. If I was Adam, I would have never touched Eve.
So essentially by reproducing.
Yes, that's the original sin in my my opinion, but everyone else will say that it's the knowledge of good and bad.
Now, we do now, from what I understand, most people would consider one of the greatest gifts that God gave mankind was the power of free will. If we have we have free will, so does that mean that the free will also includes the ability to reproduce? I mean, if we weren't meant to reproduce as a species in God's eyes, why did He create Adam and Eve in the first place?
Right, right. No, it actually was God's will for us to reproduce, because that's the way His clone Jesus would have entered the world, by reproducing.
So then, the very original aspect of reproduction there isn't a sin.
No, no, no. It's the way I measure sin.
And you measure sin and to what effect? Like, what standard do you hold it to?
Well, I'm a Maltheist. That means I believe God is evil. So if I'm calling God evil for killing children, that's where I measure sin. When you have to kill little innocent children.
The murder of children is agreeably a very evil thing.
But believe it or not, God and Jesus don't see it that way.
And you perceive this, how do you perceive that they see it?
They think that they're just casualties of war, that it must be done for the greater good. They have no conscience. They don't have no remorse.
And then no remorse over the killing of innocent children by an omnipotent being. Interesting take on it. The one question I have, though, is in order for Jesus to have been killed in the first place, he had to have been put into the Virgin Mary by God himself. So if God was aware of free will and also aware that humans had the ability to kill, he should have known that by putting Jesus on this earth to begin with, that he was already opening him up for the ability for him to get killed in the first place.
Well, he
I
wanted to
thought the
die.
original. So he was suicidal.
Yeah, yes. He wrote the story. He wrote the whole story. His own story. You know, you and I can't write our own story.
I mean, it could. Doesn't mean that it's going to be followed by millions upon millions of people.
No, I'm saying we can change the future sometimes. We have some things are out of our control, but Jesus had everything in control.
Obviously, being the Son of God and whatnot.
He's the maker. He's the programmer.
So then, what was the purpose of the crucifixion then? Was that just Jesus, getting the inevitable suicide that he wanted, or was that actually to absolve mankind of sin?
Well, there's a fine print. He didn't die for all mankind. He died for his elect, those that are going to become his disciples.
And those that are going to become his disciples were of what religion
You
or
know,
what ethnicity?
the Christianity, the first
Yeah.
century. Well, I don't believe Christians. I don't believe they exist anymore.
Yeah, in a sense that they don't have the same values and standards that they had at the original creation of Christianity, and it has become what it has, or that they are literally biologically and
No,
mentally different.
I believe Christianity failed mankind. They all
In
turned
what regard?
evil. They allowed, a bad seed to enter into the church.
The bad seed would be.
Well, corruption, sin, lies and
Mhm.
false doctrine. They don't have sound doctrine anymore.
One would say that has to do with the reform, though, because there's obviously you have the original text, and then you have, the New Testament. You have the Old Testament and the New Testament, and Of course, when you're dealing with books that are written by man from the view of man to a god, everything is obviously taken into interpretation.
I believe that all the Christians that you see today that claim to be Christian are imposters. They are wolves in sheep's clothing.
So you believe that they themselves are just saying that they're Christians and that they're actually not?
No, they're actually pagan.
How do you come to that conclusion?
Pagans love Christmas.
Well, yeah, pagans and Christianity also has the image of the devil with a trident, and trident was derived from the Greek god Poseidon. I mean, there's plenty of pagan imagery and allegory in Christianity, even in the Old Testament.
Yeah, because our God is not a Trinity God. He is not three.
Oops, sorry about that. He's not. How do you mean?
Most in our day, they worship three.
They worship three deities,
Three
or
gods.
they worship? Okay, the three gods would be
God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit.
Okay. So, when in regards to the Christianity side of it, it seems to me that what you're saying is that where we are at now, there is no such thing as a true Christian.
No, Jesus is going to say, I never knew you.
And you believe that he's saying that simply because they have lost their way and allowed corruption.
No, I think he closed the door a long time ago.
When would you say the door got closed?
Maybe after the 1st century.
Per century. After
the apostles died. After the death of his 12 apostles.
Gotcha.
They couldn't keep the cult together. They couldn't keep it together. Their righteousness was not good enough for the evil that entered into the church.
And of course, it's dealing with evil. You're also dealing with mankind. I mean, mankind is mankind's greatest enemy. Mankind is there are certain aspects of mankind that are just pure evil.
Yes. So we seek power, world domination.
Power, domination, money. Some people, it's any mixture of those. So I mean, you're dealing with the species that in of itself is inherently, evil and flawed. So Jesus should have had the wherewithal to be like, this is going to end up here inevitably.
Well, they once asked Jesus who can really be saved.
And his answer was
something about everything's possible with God. But my opinion is you have a better chance of winning the lottery than winning the eternal life prize.
Well, I guess it's a good thing I'm not a gambler then. Because the house always wins.
Because Jesus rejects his fans. That's what it comes down to. We're just fans.
Saying that the people that are Christians are kind of like fanboying for Jesus.
They're just following 2,000-year-old words.
Written in a book.
And they're applying it.
Well, as they see fit.
They're reading a book that was meant for the 1st century, and they're applying it 2,000 years later. They believe that these are the last days.
Oh, so what you're saying is when the book was actually written originally, the last days were meant to be during a relatively close period of time in proximity to when the book was made and Jesus' crucifixion and whatnot. I think that's what you're saying, right?
The last days ended in 70 CE.
So hardly a long time ago. So at this point, what would you say we as humans are doing? We're just riding it out until the world eventually burns up in Great ball of
We're
fire
just
at this
waiting
point.
for the monsters in the sky, aliens. Jesus is an alien. He doesn't belong around here. He's not terrestrial. He's going to come down here and wipe us out. He's going to take over the planet.
I mean, but why? For what purpose? To what
Where it
end?
belongs to him. And he thinks he's going to get glory from it. He's going to think he's a badass because he avenged his death and he defended his daddy.
At the end of the world, though, the only people that would be around to experience his glory are going to be him and his father at that point. So what glory is there in that?
No, I think there's millions of angels there that in heaven, and you know there's gonna be books written about this story, and people are gonna read it in the future.
And you think that that God and Jesus are gonna retry this whole mankind thing?
Oh yeah, Jesus is gonna rule the earth for 1,000 years.
And during those thousands of years, he's going to recreate what would essentially be proper Christianity with, I'm assuming, his own apostles yet again. And
Yeah, but I think his apostles are gonna be in heaven.
the apostles are going to be in heaven, so they're going to be angels versus rather than humans.
Yeah, they're gonna rule the earth with Jesus, kings and priests.
Jesus sounds like a dick. Jesus
Well,
does sound like a
yeah.
dick in his perspective.
Yeah. He came to the earth playing possum, huh? He's like, oh, don't kill me, and look at you, what you're doing to me. And then he comes around and turns around and bites someone.
Joke's on you, I can't die.
Yeah, he's
So how does
horrible being.
so where does Satan fall in this your view of Christianity?
Well, I think people just want to have a purpose. They want something to belong to, and they want to say, Jesus loves me. You know, they want to have hope. They want to have faith. They want to have love. But when it all comes down to it, it was don't believe the hype. You know, it was overrated. What Jesus was.
What Jesus was saying was overrated?
Yes, about eternal life and all that. Jesus can't even save his own skin. There is no eternal life. There is no eternal reward. There is no eternal punishment. I don't believe in hell. I believe in annihilation.
And
We all return to the dust.
so everything ashes to ashes, dust to dust. So you don't believe in an
Yes.
afterlife at all?
Well, unless you're resurrected by a baby killer. Who wants to be resurrected by a baby killer?
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Because he's going to be he's ruthless. He's a dictator. You know, it's his way or the highway. Who wants to live under slavery like that?
Well, I'm sure you'd find somebody that would say that.
Yeah, because they want to save their own skin. You know, they want to live forever. They don't want to die. And I can't blame them because God put it into our hearts to want to live forever. He made us to think that we're God, that we're going to live forever.
Well, yeah, I mean, one of the biggest fears everybody has is death. Nobody
Yeah,
wants to really.
I'm having some death
Nobody wants
anxiety
to.
myself.
Huh? It's one of the very few things in this life that are guaranteed is that you're going to die eventually. Harmony of
Oh
Trees in the
yeah,
chat said, Satan was the first to demand equal rights, and look where he is now. Let this be his lesson. Equality is not on God's menu. That's an interesting way of looking at it.
yeah, because him, you know, the Maker Jesus conspired with the devil to test Adam.
Oh,
I
you
don't know if you ever
mean...
heard that.
No, I mean, I'm not an avid follower of Christianity. I
No,
understand
because
certain
if you
aspects.
read Job chapter 1, there's a conversation between, you know, God and Satan about go test Job, that he's a righteous one.
I mean, it would make sense. Satan was an angel, after all, supposedly.
If I was Job, I would have cursed God and died. You know, but Job was
Well,
afraid of displeasing his father, his God, so he didn't, you know, curse God.
the probably not the best idea to piss off the being with the ability to kill you with a snap of his fingers.
I mean, that would be a blessing if that ability was available today. I would have cursed him out a long time ago.
I mean, you can still curse him. I just don't think it'll get you anywhere.
Yeah, but it's just a waste of time. He doesn't show up.
It was an interesting take on the Christianity side of it. First time, admittedly, the first time I've heard somebody say, "Nah, we're all fucked."
People consider me a Satanist.
No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't think that personally myself, judging by what you said. I mean, sure, you've got some pretty dark opinions when it involves,
Satanists don't believe in
Christianity
Satan.
and
They
God
say
and
they
Jesus
believe
and
in the
whatnot.
devil, but they don't.
But you never outright said that you prefer Satan over them.
No. I think the devil's also a scumbag. Just like me, just like anybody else on this planet.
So you're
We were
basically
made in
saying
the image of Jesus, a scumbag. That gives us very little hope to change and be good people.
made in the image of a baby killer.
Yeah. We're all capable of doing slaughtering.
No, sure, but there are plenty of people that don't.
No, there are good people out there that mind their own business. They're not narcissistic psychopaths, you know.
Yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of. You have people that murder indiscriminately with no remorse whatsoever. Then you have people that go through their entire life without ever harming another individual. And that's part of duality,
Basically,
though.
I'm just a human devil. I just challenge God and I resist his methods of dealing with mankind. Basically, I think God withholds information from mankind.
Information such as.
Well, Jesus came to the earth and he got mad at some demons for telling everybody, hey, this is the Son of God. He made them all get into a swine, a bunch of pigs, and jump off the cliff just to shut them up. And basically what I'm saying is that Jesus is censored to the world. He doesn't want people to know who he is, what he really is. There will be total chaos.
You'd think this in today's age would be total chaos if the true nature of Jesus was revealed.
Yeah. If most of the population knew the truth, or because most of the population deny the existence of Jesus, if the population was convinced or they saw proof that there is a Jesus, they wouldn't like what they find out.
And what do you think the end result would be for those people like myself that aren't really a religious or a spiritual person?
No, well, people that don't believe, they just go on with their life, and if Jesus doesn't take over the planet in their lifetime, they're gonna, their life is gonna be good. But if that Jesus does show up in someone's lifetime, and then rocks start falling off, from the sky, and it's gonna be another moment like the dinosaurs. You know how they were destroyed. That's what it's gonna be. Jesus is gonna destroy us like the dinosaurs.
What do you think? Do you think that Jesus and God had a hand in killing the dinosaurs?
Oh yeah, they probably got bored with them.
So essentially, it was just a little kid that didn't want to play with the toy anymore, so he nuked the earth essentially to clean to
Well,
make
some
way
people
for new
don't even
species.
believe that they don't believe that the dinosaurs existed. I don't know if you heard that one before.
Oh, that one, I don't know. That's right up there with the flat earthers to me.
Yeah, I'm starting
I've
to believe
heard.
that people never landed on the moon. There's
Yeah,
some
despite
people
the
that have
fact.
confronted the astronauts. You know the astronauts that landed on the moon?
Oh yeah, I don't. It
Some
takes
some
all
guy
kinds.
confronted one of the main ones, and the guy got pissed off and sucker punched him or hit him in the face.
I mean, to be fair, I've heard all kinds of strange shit from people. People will believe just about anything. Well, certain people, not everyone, obviously, but you know, flat earthers, people that say, "Oh, the dinosaurs never existed," people that say that the Earth isn't, you know, millions of years old, billions of years old. They say, "Oh, it's only a few hundred years old." It's like, no, we got empirical evidence to say quite the opposite.
Yeah, because if you believe that they didn't land on the moon, then you might not believe that there's a little robot on Mars.
Oh yeah, and there's not one floating around in space either.
And they're not going to send those kids or those young men down to Mars to live there.
I mean, you can believe that all you want. It doesn't change the fact that it's happened. It is
Yeah,
happening.
yeah. I wouldn't want to live over there. It's too hot over there.
Oh yeah, you don't like that. You don't like that tropical Mars climate.
No. It's worse than Iraq.
It's worse than a lot of places, considering it doesn't really have much of an atmosphere.
Oh my God, there's some people in here.
Yeah, we got 4 viewers. Tim Tarbucks is he's around
No,
usually.
this is not. They think that I'm that Logan guy, Logan Blake, debating meat eaters.
Oh really? Well, I don't
Yeah,
see why they would. I did say religion debate. I didn't say vegan debate. I don't think I could take a debate with a vegan. I think I'd probably fucking pull my hair out.
there's some moderators in there too.
Yeah, I give everybody a wrench except Tim.
Ask some of these people if they want to enter and just post the link in the chat and just erase it right away.
I
I don't know if
mean,
you could do it.
for those that are unaware, if anybody just wants a link, just let me know. I'll drop one in the chat.
Yeah, because sometimes you get one of those snipers and they just end the show.
Yeah, I haven't had that happen to me yet, but I don't have enough of a following really for me to worry about it. I don't think. I could be wrong though. I suppose.
Yeah,
But
somebody asked if who am I or do I have a channel? I have like 100 videos out there to, if you believe it.
Christian, so you know, oops, this one. Dinosaurs got wiped out around the same time Lucifer was kicked out of heaven. He types a haven. I just can't get behind religion. I mean, my religion and your religion is wrong, blah blah blah, which is a fair point. I mean, that there has to be a certain, yeah, religion has to be held with a certain amount of faith. I feel like, you know, because you're just the empirical evidence isn't there for some people, and some people.
Yeah, it's like blind faith because this crazy lunatic God that we have doesn't give no evidence. He doesn't want to give a sign from heaven.
And what makes you think that he doesn't want to do that?
No, well, Jesus spoke about, that no sign will be given this generation. It's
Fair
like they
enough.
want you to believe by hearsay. They want you to believe it by hearsay. Hey, have you heard this legend about this Jesus guy? And then they want you to believe it.
Yeah, they expect you to believe it with little to no evidence whatsoever. I mean, some would say that that's the test for humanity is believing in God without the hard evidence there to back up the claim. You just believe because you believe. Some would say that. I'm not saying that. I'm just playing the devil's advocate here. Me
Oh,
personally, I
sorry,
think.
I had you on
No,
mute. I was just saying, are you able to share the a video with the people? Maybe I could show you a video that I was in.
um, I can show it, but I won't be able to play audio. I haven't figured that out how to do that yet.
Oh, no worries. I thought
Yeah,
the people would get a kick out of it.
I mean, you can always post a link to it in the chat if you want.
Oh no, I don't have a YouTube channel. 3 of them got uh, taken down because they had the same phone number. 3 of them in one day.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I haven't tried to make one since.
Since then, to be fair, don't blame me for being discouraged if that was the case.
No, I'm sure YouTube will allow me as long as I don't act like a crazy person. If I just, you know, talk normal, they'll allow me to make videos as long as nobody is offended by it.
I am. I have yet to get a strike myself, but I'm waiting for it.
Oh, they only give strike to people that are, have like 100 subscribers.
No, I got over 100. I
Yeah,
guess I
because
kind
it
of.
takes one person to ruin it for anybody.
Yeah, systems is definitely a little fucked up. Hermione,
The more
yeah.
the more subscribers you have, the more haters that thumbs down your
True.
videos and stuff.
Now you get more traffic that way too. Harmony of Tree says religion is faith. We don't know if God is real or not. A lot of Christians like to say they know, but in reality we don't and we can't. This is fair.
Yeah, he's like an invisible friend that we have.
Yeah, some people would. Some people that are staunch atheists would say it is an invisible friend that people have.
Well, I don't know if you ever heard of Dan Barker.
It doesn't ring a bell.
He says all the same thing that I say about Jesus, about him being a baby killer.
Yeah.
He's an author. He's an atheist author. But I think he used to be like some sort of preacher or something. But the only difference is that he believes that Jesus does not exist, and I believe that he does exist.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the last part of that? I cut out a little bit.
Oh no, that Dan Barker guy believes that Jesus does not exist, and I believe that God or the Maker Jesus does exist.
Isn't this Dan Barker the same guy that believes that Jesus is a baby killer and everything, but he doesn't believe in Jesus?
Yes, yes,
That
that's what he
seems
said. He has sermons
that
about it.
seems that seems kind of backwards.
He'll get all the scriptures that point to babies being killed and women being raped and a lot of violence in the Old Testament. But he
Yeah.
probably thinks that it's not real history.
I mean, if he doesn't believe that it's real history, then what's the point of covering it? I mean, for what it's worth, at that point, it's just a good story. If you don't
I,
believe in it, obviously.
I don't know if you have a Bible right there. We could read like two scriptures that are like, I don't know if they belong in the Bible because they're so evil.
No, I do not have a Bible with me. I haven't had a Bible in my house since I was like 19, 18, 19. I used to have
It
one of those little
basically
pocket
says
ones.
in Isaiah chapter 13, verse 16, loot a man's home, kill his children, and rape his wife. I
So
don't
like
know.
theft, murder, and rape, all on the same day. That's a good way to get yourself on a list.
Yeah, that's the Jewish people. That's what they used to do to the Babylonians.
Oh, human history is rifled with war and other such travesties. I mean, it's kind of one would say it's kind of in our nature, natural human state almost.
Well, the one in Hosea chapter 13, verse 16 says, rip pregnant women open.
So is that a reference to C-section or is that a reference to just
Mm,
gutting a woman?
killing pregnant women.
Oh, it's always with the fun stuff. I mean, realistically, every religion has stories that are not of the well, let's just say they err on the side of darker
Yeah,
moral
that
side of humanity.
the Jesus guy is like King Kong showing rage and like Rampage. But he didn't show that side of himself when he walked the earth.
Well, in reference to that, yeah, I mean, there was, if I remember correctly, there are brief mentions of his abilities, as far as turning water into wine, walking on water, and stuff like that. But it's obviously the resurrection and the fact that
He's like a
God's
politician.
son.
He was trying to recruit some votes.
Occam's router says, "I can't accept the fact that the story of Jesus is even real. I always view it with an air of I really hate this word, but skepticism. Has anyone told Beard Barian that killing pregnant women is frowned upon? I think he knows. I don't think he cares.
Yeah, I think times have changed.
Times always change. I mean, it's human history isn't necessarily lineal. It's always been a bumpy road, especially in regards to religion and murder and all the other happy fun stuff. Zio Gold says, thanks to the current trends, the general public think that all atheists are SJWs. Yeah, that seems to be a general assumption. Not obviously not true, but that is the assumption most people make when they hear it.
Yeah, because the name Godless, there's like 10 different people out there in the atheist community that call themselves Godless. And I challenged like 10 of them, and only a few wrote back.
You asked him to do a debate, I'm assuming?
Yeah, for some reason, they like to be called Godless. And then they
Well,
have
in your belief system, they have a God. They just don't believe in him.
yeah, they all have a different second last name.
It's a cheap way to get attention is use the same first name as somebody else that's already pretty popular.
Yeah, I
Not to
think it's a
mention
show also.
it is catchy.
There's so many out there.
Atheism has been on the rise, especially in the United States, as far as the advancing technology.
Well, somebody on Twitter just announced that there's going to be some sort of convention, and whoever was on the speakers list, I sent them a few messages saying, "Are you going to tell the truth about the Bible?" But they didn't write back.
This is an interesting way to start a conversation with someone.
Yeah, because I want them
Harmony
to
of
be like
Trees.
Dan Barker. Dan Barker doesn't hold back.
Fair enough. At least they know what they're getting with you. Harmony of Trees says, I have been given a lot of shit for being an atheist. They say you have no morals, you hate God, and my favorite, what tragedy did you have as a child? These were real. I'm assuming she is saying these were real questions. Most of the time, people assume that I'm an atheist. I'm not. I'm agnostic, obviously, by my name, but I also get those questions thrown at me by people that are devoutly religious. It's like you don't have any morals because you're not religious. I can have morals without religion. And the whole "you hate God." Well, you don't. In order for me to hate God, I'd have to believe that a God exists. And to be fair, I hold that with quite a bit of skepticism.
Yeah, I think apatheists are the best. The apathetic ones, they don't care if there's a God or not.
They're interesting. I'll give them that.
I mean, they can't go wrong.
Yeah, right. It's like, oh, well, you die. Turns out there was a God. I didn't care that there was one anyway.
And if they find out there's one, they'll probably cuss them out anyways.
Well, probably. Occam's Razor says, no one can even define God explicitly. I can't say I'm an atheist until I know what God someone is asserting. I think God is a matter of human perception. At least most religious people would tell you that anyway.
Well, I think the humans want to worship something, even if it's a rock.
That is a fair assertion as well. Humans do have a tendency to hold on to tribe mentality, as you can see, with religion, cliques in high school and other stuff like that. We have we're social creatures, is what it is.
So, do you get the Jehovah's Witnesses knocking on your door?
Oh no, I do not.
That's a good thing.
So it is kind of a running joke that they're annoying, but I've never had it happen to me in my life. But I don't live in an area that's got a vast majority of them. I think there's one church
Well,
that's
what
a
I've
joke.
noticed is they feel they have authority over the public.
In what regard?
They think that they're sent from God,
Oh, they're
to
sent
teach
from
the
God.
people.
Yeah.
They think they work
Last,
for him.
well, probably in their minds, they probably do. I'm not saying that they're right. That's, of course, a matter of perception. But in their minds, they believe that they do.
Once they feel that they can't, that you're not weak enough to brainwash, they'll just move on to the next door.
Yeah. Which essentially, I think one could say that's how all religion works. That you have to present the idea to somebody in a way that they A, believe it, and B, subscribe to the methodology and thought processes behind it. Because if you present it, let's say the way you present it, how you believe. If I was on the outside looking in as someone who would possibly follow the religion, the whole concept of all burning at the end of it and dying is not exactly appealing.
Yeah, they probably believe they could do some Jedi mind tricks on you.
No, I'm certain some of them do. If you see Jehovah's Witnesses approaching, knock on the inside of your door a split second before they knock on the outside. Throws them off. I don't know how that would work. Tim Tarbox in the chat says, they knock on my door from time to time. I'm nice to them, offer them some water for their walk, give them credit for doing what they think is right, but I don't let them in or listen to what they say. Fair enough. Harmony of Tree says, we all say support your claims with evidence, except when it comes to religion, we say I respect your beliefs. Do you see the hypocrisy in this? I don't think if hypocrisy is the right word you're looking for. There is definitely a lapse in logic, though, saying everything else you need to back it up with empirical proof, but when it comes to religion, we just kind of accept it as is. Though one could argue that it's very difficult to prove or disprove the existence of God outside of just pure belief. So,
Yeah, I was on that channel, Street Epistemology or something.
okay,
I don't know what that is.
I can't
But
say I've ever heard of it.
I told the panel, and there was a former Jehovah's Witness like me on the panel. And I told them that what if you're wrong? What if you're misleading your fellow human beings? But they want evidence.
They want evidence
Logic.
that they want evidence that they're wrong, or
Yeah, logic. They want you to make it logical to believe in God.
well, yeah. I mean, wouldn't that be the end game of pretty much any religion? Is that
Yeah, yeah. I
it
mean,
seems logical and not purely based on emotion.
if you want to buy something, you're going to do your research on the product.
You would assume some people just, quote unquote, buy the product, as you put it. They just kind of buy at a whim.
Yeah, I don't know. This religious community is really small.
The religious side of YouTube, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah. I think it's dying off. Religion is dying off. It's losing interest in the public.
Oh yeah,
You
I
know,
mean, you
there's
could say
churches
that.
closing down and everything.
Yeah, you could say that religion in of itself is actually starting to die out. As far as it's nowhere near as expansive as it used to be. One could say that as
No,
people
I
getting
think some of the
smarter.
Christians, I think they're waking up. They're smelling the
Do
coffee.
you think that they're waking up to, due to
To the
technologies and
fairy tale
advancement and
about
evidence?
Jesus. No, I think they're just hearing debates and stuff. They're hearing like they're saying, "Well, I never heard that before. Let me go look it up in the Bible or something." They're getting more knowledgeable, and they're saying, "Well, I don't want to be a part of this."
Well, to be fair, if you were, debating the subject at hand, it's kind of what you want the people in the, that are in the audience that are religious. That's what you want them to get out of it, is to second guess their beliefs. I mean, personally, at the end of the day, if somebody's a diehard Christian, I highly doubt you're going to be able to sway their opinion one way or the other, regardless of how good you present your evidence, because they believe what they want to believe.
Yeah, because it's just nobody wants to live with zombies. You know, people that are like they have the mind of a child. If
Tim
they're
Tarbuck
going
in
to
the
go to
chat makes
church, oh, go ahead.
Tim Tarbox in the chat says, I guess you guys are not seeing some of the churches in the South. They're not getting smaller. They're growing like weeds in a garden. Religion is still pretty.
Yeah, but they're not getting very. They're not growing in their knowledge. They're just like stuck in a gear. They preach the same sermon. It's like a Mickey Mouse Club.
Well, yeah.
Keeping it PG.
Oh yeah, especially in the church. Internet equals access to endless info. I will likely just even the numbers out. I'm assuming he
You know
means
that
numbers
Paul
between.
Washer guy. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He's a preacher.
I think I've heard of him before.
Yeah, he has a sermon on YouTube. It's got over 1 million views, where he tells a bunch of kids that they're all going to go to hell in the future. You know, they're not going to last in the faith or something like that.
Yeah, Tim Tarbuck's brought up what I was going to bring up before. We went off on the whole, all the children are going to hell concept. Is the fact that the sermon is the same and they're preaching the same things because it's based on the Bible and the Bible hasn't changed unless you consider the New Testament. Obviously, that was different than the Old Testament, but regardless, it's been around for thousands of years.
Well, I think the New Testament's worse.
In what regard?
Because Jesus is going to avenge himself on all. He's going to genocide mankind.
And you think that the New Testament doesn't bring that up?
It does. It does. In Revelations 11:18, it says that he's going to destroy those destroying the earth. That's basically everybody.
Well, then what's so bad about it if it's revealing the truth as you see it?
No, well, the preacher's not going to go up there and say, "Hey, he's going to genocide all of us."
But it is in the book nonetheless.
No, he tells people that they're going to live forever.
Well, of course, that's what people want to hear.
And 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 11 and 12, it says that there's going to be a strong delusion.
What regard?
Well, God sends a spirit of error to his enemies. He doesn't want them to know the truth so that they repent and get to know him.
I mean, if you knew
God
the truth,
wants people to be in error.
If you knew the truth is, if you were, as you describe it, if you were to know that truth, then what would be the perfect? Why would you want to repent? I mean, at that point, you would know that God's an asshole, and so is this kid. So, wouldn't it have the exact opposite effect, so to speak?
Maybe that's why he sends a spirit of error, because he doesn't want people to know that.
Fair enough.
Was that an evil laugh, like Jesus? He's gonna laugh at the whole world. What a son of a gun, huh? He's like a Terminator. You ever see that movie Aliens?
You mean the one by Ridley Scott?
Yeah, the alien that goes around killing everybody. That's like Jesus right there.
Oh yeah, Jesus is a xenomorph, huh?
He's a monster. He's an animal.
To be fair, he started off the whole talk with Jesus talking about how he's a baby killer. So being a xenomorph, that's not so bad. Harmony of Tree says, if Satan is real, I would want to sell my soul to him. I want money, power, and women. I sold my soul to Satan for a bag of Cheetos. They tried giving me a return on it.
That Jesus character won't even allow Satan to tell his side of the story. He has Satan all censored up.
Well, then what would you consider the Book of Satan, and
No, I just think
Luciferians.
the guy just wanted Adam and Eve to know knowledge. He didn't want them to live like zombies in zombie mode.
Well, once again, this goes back to the concept of free will. We were given free will.
And he just wanted them to exercise that free will, and God punished them for it.
Oh yeah, he's struck him down to hell, which of course that story in of itself bears a lot of resemblance to the story of Prometheus. Bringing the fire down to the humans and being punished by the gods. Getting his innards eaten out, and
Well, he gave
every
the
day.
human race the death sentence. He cursed Adam and Eve with death.
Yeah, he cursed. Well, the curse was you no longer live forever. That you eventually died. Of course, this is under the assumption that if when God created Adam and Eve and then they lived forever, they would obviously reproduce eventually. I mean, you put two people together, they're gonna do the dirty deed.
Yeah, they do the dirty deed on the porn sites all the time.
That's true. Pornhub gets a lot of traffic. Riley Dennis has turned more young people Christian than any Bible passage. Ooh, fucking shots fired. Tim Tarbucks. I think church was appropriate 200 years ago when so many people couldn't read. They could go and receive, quote unquote, the word, but today most everyone can read. People should read and form their own opinions. We don't have Utica Club in Arkansas. I don't know what Utica Club is. Utica Club is, to be honest with you. I don't even know if I have it where I
Is
live.
that where you're at? You're in Arkansas?
No, Tim Tarbucks in the chat it said something about Arkansas.
Oh, because some guy on YouNow told me that if I don't watch myself, the hogs, they'll make my body disappear in Arkansas.
Yeah, just don't go to Arkansas then.
Yeah. He says they have a way of getting rid of bodies over there.
Oh, okay. Tim Tarbuck says in reference to the Utica Club thing, brewery in Utica, New York. Okay. Okay, I know what you're talking about now. It's not good beer. Don't listen to them. Everything that comes from New York sucks.
Well, that's where the cult leaders of the Jehovah's Witnesses live.
Oh, where the hell is it? Fucking
Well, it was in, how do you say, Brooklyn?
yeah.
But they moved over to Warwick, and they're starting a new cult compound over there.
A new cult compound, huh? Is this going to be another Waco, Texas happening again?
Probably because they think they're like it's them versus the world.
I mean, it is a cult after all. They convince people of certain doctrines, and then they allow these people to, obviously they use people that have malleable freaking
Yeah,
brains to begin with.
they don't follow just one man. They follow a group of men called the governing body. Basically, it's a bunch of CEOs of book publishing company.
Yeah. And I'm assuming that the book publishing company has a hand in the publishing of, certain Jehovah's scriptures, I would imagine. And also, I
Oh yeah, they
think
have a
somebody.
whole library.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. To be fair, if I had my own religion and my own printing press, I'd print all kinds of scripture too.
But they don't want
You gotta
the
make the
members
masses
to
feel
read the
good.
past publications because they might find out the truth about, how false they are.
To be fair, most people don't like their beliefs being challenged from the outside, regardless of what religion you're talking about, whether it be Islam or Christianity or those that follow Jehovah. I mean, obviously there are some people that take it to a more violent extent than others do.
Everyone has skeleton in the closets.
What's that?
Every religion has someone who is their, how do you say, kryptonite, that knows all their secrets.
Oh, you mean that one guy that's read the Bible like 40 different times and knows every verse and passage?
Yeah, and knows the true history of the church, of every religion, every cult.
Well, there's a few people out there that got encyclopedic knowledge of most religions, I'm sure. I am not. Myself, I'm not one of them.
Because you know that Remini girl, Leah Remini, she's like a kryptonite to the Scientology church.
What regard? I mean, other than the fact that Scientology makes a mockery of itself, that obviously notwithstanding, but
No, she just tells the public what they really are behind closed doors.
which is,
You know how they slap the leaders slap the other people around.
oh yeah.
You're allowed to bitch slap people in that religion.
Well, that's how you got to keep the religion, going down the right path. You got to keep that pin pants wrong. You got to know when to give somebody
Yeah,
a
and I
backhand,
think they
walk
have
out
a
of
little
line.
shunning. You know, a little being shunned by your family members if you do something wrong against the church.
Oh yeah, that whole the group, the hive mind works
The silent
especially
treatment,
strong in religions, and from what I've seen
public
in the
shaming.
oh yeah. Well, public shaming. I mean, obviously, the public being the church at this point. That's a tactic that's used. It's been a tactic that's been used to, you know, deter people from having certain opinions for ages now. Zio Gold says, I asked, for those that are listening in the future for reference, I asked in the chat who was Nightmare Fuel because Zio Gold kept bringing him up. I have no idea who the hell he is. But Zio Gold says, Nightmare Fuel is a militant atheist that thinks that he's better than everyone that is religious and thinks that the world will be a utopia if you got rid of religion. And that sounds like a militant atheist to me.
Yeah, there's a militant atheist in my group called John Cedars. You ever heard of him?
Can't say that I have. I try to avoid, the
Well, he
religious
has
side of
like
YouTube.
20,000 subscribers. He's an atheist. I thought maybe you ran into him.
No, can't say I have.
He hangs around with Cosmic Skeptic. They do, live hangouts together.
I'll look into them.
Yeah, John Cedars. Right there, he'll pop up. Just put Jehovah Witness or something.
Cedars. See, maybe I have heard of him before.
He's written a book called The Reluctant Apostate, and he's on his second book. He's gonna write another one. Yeah, he won't.
I think I might have seen a few of his
Yeah, he won't have a
videos.
spiritual discussion with me in public. You have more bravery than he does.
Well, realistically, when it comes to religion, at the end of the day, I know it's a matter of the person's perspective, because everybody has their own belief system. Even me, and as laid back, as uncaring as I am, I still have a certain belief system that I follow. It's not a religious belief system, but a belief system nonetheless. And those people that are atheists that don't want anything to do with discussing, religion because they believe that religion is outright wrong. Whether there's obviously ambiguity there. Some people believe that religion is all right. It's the organized side of it that makes it evil, which is a fair point, I guess. But regardless, it's very difficult to have a conversation with somebody when you go into the conversation or the debate and you go in with the assumption that you are wrong and they are right regardless.
Yeah, he has a website called jwsurvey.org.
Is that
He has a
Cedars?
Yeah, that's not really his name.
Yeah, I saw this.
Yeah.
His name's like Lloyd something.
Um, I think Lloyd Evans or something. I think Lloyd is his middle name, and then Evans is his last name.
So here in the chat, we got Harmony of Trees says, if religion never existed, the dark ages of technology would have never happened. So technology would be so much more advanced. So in a way, it would be. I mean, assuming he or she means it would be better if religion had never existed. G Money in the Bank says, if you're G Moneyist, they can't stop you because it would be against your freedom if you're edging at work. Also, Harmony of Trees says, also all of the wars due to religion wouldn't have happened. Well, religion is one of the biggest causes of war. That and women and property. Let's see here.
Well, you know those the Dark Ages. Was it called the Crusades? I think that was good because they got rid of some of the Muslims. That sounds a little harsh, but those Muslims they're gone. They're so violent.
Harsh,
Savages.
but I would defend my death. You're right to say it. It's the dark ages. Let's see. I'm gonna Google this so I don't put my own foot in my mouth. But I do believe off the top of my head that chronologically the dark ages happened. I believe before the Crusades, but I might be wrong. So I know the Spanish Inquisition and all that happened around that time as well.
Well, I feel we're in the Dark Ages. We don't know anything.
In regards to how you feel as far as religiously goes?
Yeah, about people denying that Jesus is a bad guy. They want to paint him as a Care Bear.
Well, obviously, and then you believe that, he's a baby killer, as you put it. Switch, your belief system, your belief system.
They call him the Maker. They call him, some people believe he's God. And if that's true, he was there in the flood of Noah. He was there in Sodom and Gomorrah. He was there during all those final judgment stuff. You ever heard of the Egyptians, how they had the 10 plagues on them and the firstborn was killed?
Yeah.
And, for Jesus to enter into the world, 2-year-old children and under had to be killed. Thousands of them had to be slaughtered because they wanted to destroy the Messiah.
Was that in order for... That was in order for
Some guy named
Jesus.
King Herod was jealous, or he wanted to destroy someone that he thought was going to usurp him in his kingdom. So he had all those babies killed.
Funny things, the things that mankind will do for power.
Yes. But I mean, there was no need for Jesus to enter into the world. If he entered into the world, why didn't he stay a little longer? Why didn't he suffer a little longer and teach us? He was in his 30s when he got slaughtered.
Do you think that it was possible? I mean, despite giving your, belief systems, do you believe it was possible that he thought that he had done a good enough job and had pushed mankind in the right direction when he was here? Or you just thought that he was just a selfish cunt?
Yeah, he's just selfish. He just wanted to die. He was suicidal. He thought that if he died, he made a name for himself. Like a martyr.
To be fair, in his defense, he did achieve exactly that because he is viewed as a martyr.
Oh, yeah. Even some people that are against him and his cult, they acknowledge that he did walk the earth, but they don't believe that he was, all powerful. Miracles and stuff.
Do you believe he was all powerful?
Well, I think he was holding back, because he was a human being. He really was a human being. He was, half human, half angel, I guess.
Essentially,
Or maybe he was all human with some, superpower.
Gotcha. Some form of some form of celestial power mixed into the menagerie there. But
Oh, because there used to be these Nephilim, which were like half human, half angel, and they were giants in the earth. They were taller than everybody else and stronger.
yeah, I do believe I've heard that that theory before. I mean, obviously, I don't believe it, and I do find it interesting though.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I made a mistake calling Jesus half angel because he's not an angel. He's a different breed. He actually created the angels, you know. And believe it or not, you ever heard of Michael the Archangel?
Yes, yes, I heard Michael.
Jehovah's Witnesses preach that Michael the Archangel is the same person as Jesus.
How does that work?
I have no idea. That's why I left the cult.
I like how you call it a cult too. It's pretty funny. So was that like is that the only reason why you left, or was there more to it than that?
No, no, no. They have a child molestation problem. They rape little children, you know, like the Catholics.
Oh, geez, really? I can't say.
Oh, yeah.
I always thought that was more of a Catholic thing, but apparently the
No, no.
Jehovah's
They
not
cover it
as
up. They move, you know, elders from one congregation to another. They say, oh, don't call the police. There's not enough evidence. You didn't have enough witnesses. There's got to be 2 or 3 witnesses to the crime for them to take you serious.
dude. What the hell is this Sharia law?
Something like that. Yeah. They probably need more witnesses, right?
Yeah, right. I think
But
it's 2 or 3.
any country, any country you're in, just Google it. Uh, United States Jehovah's Witness investigation, Canada Jehovah's Witness investigation, Australia Jehovah's Witness investigation, United Kingdom. They're even banned in Russia for being extremist.
What was that about Russia and being extremist?
No, no, no. The Jehovah's Witnesses are considered extremist in the land of Russia.
Okay. So Russia has that religion particularly deemed as extremist.
Yeah, it's a dangerous cult,
Fair enough.
a dangerous sect.
Do
See, the
they
Jehovah's Witnesses, they don't like to be called a church. They think they're too good to be called a church.
So do they have like do they have the habit of taking people outside of regular social groups and then isolating them, surrounding them only with people that are members of the Jehovah's Witness cult, as you put it?
No, they allow those people to still attend the meetings, but they have to show signs of repentance
Yeah.
for like half a year or maybe longer before they could be accepted back into the, you know, the group without being ignored like an animal.
It seems like they do as much indoctrination as quickly as possible. It sounds.
Yeah, yeah, because they feel if one person could spoil the whole group, you know, one apple could spoil the rest.
That seems like yeah, I guess that makes sense. You want to try to avoid as much contamination as possible if you're dealing with a cult. But I mean, this is obviously being in a religion of itself tends to do that. I mean, there's a mentality among certain people that are religious to say that anybody on the outside of the religion is, you know, a ne'er do well, a naysayer, inherently evil, or what have you. G Money in the Bank says, in G Moneyism, when you wake up with a boner, it's because angels are jerking you in your sleep. That brings a whole new meaning to the ghost direction. Half human, half superpower is how the guest just described Jesus. So I made the comparison, obviously, to Luke Cage. Raping like Catholics, so thieving and drug dealing like Mexicans. That's oh, I've said some pretty harsh things in this show, but I don't know if that's I don't know if that one's gonna make it past the filter. Opinions hurt said missed the bulk of the debate. Damn, don't worry, we're still going. He's just dealing with something in the IRL, I do believe. Let's see here now. briefing. Okay, I already covered that one. Stop mansplaining. I already replied to that. How dare you, you fascist pig? Well, I'd rather be a fascist pig than communist swine. When Billy Graham died, militant atheists justified every negative stereotype about atheists. You're gonna have to help a brother out, Zeogold, and give me some heads up as to what that's about.
Billy Graham, the one that was featured on the Unsolved Mysteries in the 1980s about receiving, bombs in the mail.
It's always a possibility. I mean, 80s is before my time, so I mean, I recognize the name, but I can't like put a face or anything that he did to the name.
All I know is that he was, so close to being 100 years old.
How old was he when he died? You know?
Yeah, something about 99.
Holy shit! I can't imagine living that long. That's fucking nuts. Billy Graham. I feel like I recognize the name, but I can't quite. I have to Google it real quick.
So I don't think Newly Awakened showed up. I didn't check my tweets.
Yeah, she's got sketchy internet where she lives, so I mean I had her on before, but her internet would have to, cut in every, 25, 30 minutes. According to what I'm looking at here, Billy Graham was somebody that was a Republican that died. Oh, this is Los Angeles Times and Huffington Post, so don't crucify me too bad. Oh, a Southern Baptist minister. Southern Baptist. I've had my experience with a couple Southern Baptists. They are some extreme motherfuckers.
Who is this G Money guy? I know a G Money. That's not him. No, that's not him.
Oh, he's always around. He's always saying shit. Fucking
No,
guy.
we in my community of the former Jehovah's Witnesses, there's a G Money, but he has a G and then space Money. He doesn't have a long name.
Yeah, it's definitely unique. I think it's the first time I came across it was when I saw G Money in the bank in a live stream a while back. The chat, that is. G Moneyism brings a whole new meaning to the phrase "the finger of God." Just diddle my butthole while you're doing it. So you're a member of a group of ex-Jehovah Witnesses. It's like there's like, is it like a support group or is it just a group that
Yeah, it's a therapy cult.
Therapy cult. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, we're all cult survivors. But we don't bring the truth to the world. We just lie about the Watchtower and we lie about everything. For some reason, I tried to tell the truth. Now they all shun me.
So they all have the same general belief that you do. They don't express it.
No, they're agnostic.
They're agnostic. Oh geez,
Oh,
I
yeah.
got friends in high places.
No, and if they are Christian, they believe that they're born again or something like that. They're on the side of the baby killer.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So they shunned you for your beliefs in regards, to Jesus Christ.
They
and
shun
God.
me because I challenged them to a public debate and they won't do it.
Gotcha.
Spiritual matters. Just to discuss spiritual matters, they won't do it. Well, not with me, at least. With other people, yes.
Harmony of Trees in the chat says, okay, I'll buy it because Jesus loves me. I mean, if I don't obey him, he will send me to never-ending pain, but he still loves me. I mean, he made me and judges the creation he made, but he still loves me. I'm thinking if Harmony of Trees had any religious beliefs, that this person would not be a big fan of Jesus either. Seems to be general consensus today is fuck Jesus.
Well, you know, his followers are going to become baby killers also, the ones that go to heaven.
Yeah, you were saying that they under your belief system they get resurrected back to the earth when, you know,
Oh,
Jesus
no,
comes
no.
down to fuck shit up.
I'm talking about the ones that go to heaven are the ones that are going to turn into monsters. The ones on earth are not allowed to kill. They have to become innocent like doves.
So the ones that go to heaven, what purpose does that serve in your belief system?
They're going to destroy God's enemies.
In heaven or on earth or in hell?
No, well, they're going to come down from heaven and kill all
Kill
these puny little tiny little creatures.
you basically killing off humanity then.
And then they're going to rule the ones, you know, that they resurrect. They're going to rule them, you know, into perfection.
Perception as they see it, obviously.
No, I mean, yeah, perfection. You know, like they're holy and pure.
So what kind of reactions do you normally get when you start expressing your
No, well, they
opinions
think
as
that
far as
I
religion?
need to get some psychological help. You know, in the loony bin.
So they think you're legitimately crazy.
Yeah, and it's strange because there's people out there that believe some things I say, but not completely. You know, like the Jehovah's Witnesses, they believe in Jesus dousing your reign of the Christ. And they also believe, like me, that Satan is going to be let loose after those 1,000 years, and they're going to test mankind again. It's all in the book of Revelation.
I'll get to that in just a second. Just want to read from the chat here. Opinions Hurt brings up, he has an honest question. Not trying to be a dick, but what's the point of believing a creator? I don't get it. What's so bad about just living and dying like every other creature on Earth? I'm gonna say that most people just want to feel special. They want to believe they have some kind of attachment to some supposedly omniscient being, like the Christians believe. Me personally, I'm the one that just lives and dies. And once I'm dead, I'm dead.
Yeah, I tried doing that, but for some reason I just keep going back to it. This religious stuff.
I guess whatever floats your boat. I mean, personally, as far as I'm concerned, like I wouldn't say that you were crazy. Your beliefs, that while they are out there, they remain consistent. And if I had the same thought process as you do and beliefs that you do, it would make sense. I'm not a religious person, so to me, I wouldn't say it was crazy. It just sounds illogical to me. But I could be wrong.
Well, some people call me a Poe. They don't think I'm serious.
They think you're a literal joke.
Yeah, they think that I'm like playing a character or something on YouTube.
Oh, and you start out the conversation with Jesus' baby killer. I was like, oh, this guy's fucking serious.
Yeah, but to me, it's like that's normal conversation to me, but to everybody else is like, what the f?
To be fair, in your defense, that is the first time I've heard somebody of any Judaic Christian or Abrahamic religion whatsoever express that kind of belief.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand. You know, there's groups out there that don't believe in Jesus, but they won't say that about him. You know, like the Muslims, they believe he's just like some sort of prophet. But if they want to put
Well,
down Christianity, they should go ahead and say that.
to be fair, in their defense, Allah isn't necessarily completely devoid of sin either.
Oh no, I think Allah is scumbag. He wants all unbelievers beheaded.
Yeah, either convert or die. Islam is a very It's a very militaristic religion. Opinions Hurt says, sorry, I don't know the guest's name. He has a question for you. What keeps bringing you back to religion? And no, to answer your question, Opinions Hurt was not already covered.
Well, I want to rule the world, and I want everybody to believe the same way I do. I wanted to start my own cult, but nobody joined it. Basically, I'm another Charles Manson.
At least you're honest about it. Is this gonna include all the murdering?
Well, I'm trying to stay away from that, but eventually, if I do become powerful, then I have to, make an example out of people.
Christianity used to be believe or die. Yep. And a lot of religions used to be like that. In regards to what you just said, though, it sounds an awful lot like you intend. If you had enough power, you'd have your own, essentially what you call city state, almost.
Well, if I was a billionaire, I can't even pay people to believe what I believe because they have free will. If they don't believe it, they don't believe it.
True. I mean, money does loosen most people's thought process, but again, they're not believers at that point. You just paid them to say that they believe.
I could probably get more platforms and maybe have a ghostwriter write my book and self-publish it, but that's pretty much it.
No, this is true. I mean, you'd have a lot more exposure, that's for sure, but I don't think it helps sell what you believe. To be fair to most people,
if I open up a church in the corner, they're just going to want food.
Yeah, and when you're dealing with people in religion, most people seek religion because they want an answer to what happens to them when they die. And your answer, well, still an answer, is basically y'all are fucked. So that doesn't appeal. That doesn't appeal to the populace.
We become worm food. But together we'll have to figure out how to live without Jesus. How to stop trying to get Jesus to help us because he's not going to help us. He's a deadbeat daddy.
Personally, I believe the only person that is capable of helping you is yourself.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to teach the people. Help yourself get off of drugs. Help yourself get off of alcoholism. But how the hell am I going to tell them that if I'm an alcoholic myself,
Fair enough. I mean, under your own belief system, though, you should be able to get it yourself away from it anyway. But I'm not one to judge.
Well, Jesus, he draws people to alcoholism.
You say in regards to the communion wine?
Like if you start reading about...
Oh, just dropped out. Or am I seeing shit? Oh, you dropped out. Well then. Some technical difficulties. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, I was just saying, being around Jesus is all negativity, kind of like being around me, and people don't want to be around that kind of stuff.
Yeah, negativity usually turns people away. There's the reason why I was saying before is like when you lead out with, the statement, Christ is your baby killer, y'all are fucked at the end of the world anyway. It's a very difficult selling point to sell to somebody. Harmony of Tree says...
kind of like I've come out like a half comedian or something, half joker.
Some people I can see how they'd be like, this guy's got to be fucking shitting me. Harmony of Tree says, when people say God helped me get sober, I'm like, no, you did. Why are you giving credit to God for something you did? That is a valid point. If you, how do you feel about that? Instead of people taking responsibility for their actions, they pass it off, not just with intoxic with
well, I think praying to God is kind of like a meditation. You think that praying to a loving being is going to help you. Like you're trying to be. You're trying to have control over everything and trying to have peace of mind. I think if somebody's brainwashing you that you're going to live forever, it's like a happy ending story.
Okay, I see what you're coming from. I guess the point could be made that though while you might not get an answer, it's just self-help at that point. All you're doing is trying to help yourself be better. But a lot of people would ask why waste your time? Me personally, I think whatever the fuck you do in your free time is your business, not mine.
Well, these religions, they do help people get off of drugs.
I'll bet they do, but they end up getting rid of the drugs and replacing it for a different form of addiction. The addiction being your
Yeah,
religion at
yeah.
that point.
It's like if I go to double, AA or whatever, it's like I might bad influence people, to start drinking again. Might as well just stay away.
You think that you yourself would influence people to start drinking again?
Oh yeah, I'll be like, hey, you want to go out there and get a drink, like the devil or something.
He slither on in, whispering in their ears. You know, it'd be a lot better than hanging out in this stuffy old room. Go to get the beer. Let's do it.
And those people have been off alcohol for years, decades.
Opinion Hurt has my pretty much my mentality with a lot of things, and then Chad, he's pretty much hit the nail on the head as far as, obviously he's saying it's how he thinks, but it's pretty much the same way I think. I view religion the same as homosexuality. I don't give a fuck. What you do at home, just don't push it on me or my kid. That's
Yeah,
fair.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's what I want the world to be. I want them to close all the churches and just stay at home and worship your own way.
I think it'd have a lot easier of a time selling that to somebody than you would, starting off with the whole Jesus is a child murderer or child baby killer thing. But
Yeah, yeah.
to be fair, I'm sure most people, even those that are religious, would probably agree with you. Considering, even with me, I'm not a religious person by any means, as I've made clear before. But to me, I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with the religion. It's the people that are in the religion. It's the organized side of it. Because every person, when people read the Bible, they interpret it in different ways, and I think that instead of allowing people to do that, all a church does and organized religion does is force people to see the book the way that the general populace sees the book. If
What
you
would
know
you
what I'm saying.
think? It's impossible. It's not going to happen. But what would you think if there was like multiple people like me that were teaching the same stuff?
What do I think would happen?
No, I mean, what do you think? Would you think that would make the world a worse place, or?
I don't think it changed any more than having Christianity around does right now. To me, I think it'd be a mute point. Well, yeah, your ideas are extreme. You're not saying that either believe the way that I do or die. At least I haven't heard you say that yet.
Well, I
So
think it will
basically,
piss off a lot of Christians if they saw a bunch of me, telling them that they're all fake.
to be fair, Christians do not like being called fake. So yeah, you're right there.
Well, I tell them that Christians are extinct like the dinosaurs, and they're like, "Nope, I'm still here," and I'm like, "Yeah, you're a fake Christian." They don't get it.
Nigga, fake.
They don't want to believe that they're fake, that they're imposters.
Well, to be fair, it's for religion. I mean, it's an integral part of their of not only their life but how they view their moral code. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that you're wrong or right. I'm just saying from the perspective of a Christian or religious person, that's you're attacking an integral part of
It,
their
you
lifestyle.
know,
So
they're supposed to be preaching to me and correcting me, right? The first thing they do is gag
you,
me.
that's where you say ignore you, shut you down. That's
They
typical.
gag me. Yeah, they gag their opponent. They don't want to hear. They call me a devil. They don't want to hear my side of the story.
To be fair, they don't want to hear your side of the story because it doesn't work with their belief systems. And once again, I'm not saying that you were right or wrong. I'm just saying that,
Yeah, but they
that's how
say
people
that
that
I
ever.
take the scriptures out of context. The ones about the loot a man's home, kill his children, rape his wife. They say I take it out of context, and I'm like, okay, explain it to me correctly, and they won't do it.
Just goes to show that they don't have a strong belief system in what they believe. Then, if they're not willing to back it up, I mean, at the end of the day, you can still think, you can think whatever you want of the other person that you're having the debate with. But if you're not willing to back up your beliefs and you don't believe in them strongly enough to defend them in the first place, that says more about you and your belief systems than it does about the other person.
Yeah, because they say that I'm just like opening a book and just paraphrasing it. That's not what the book is about. I'm just picking a few words out of it.
I mean, to be fair, if you're reading the book and it's a literal definition, there isn't a whole lot of nuance there. Either it does say that or it doesn't say that.
Yeah, well, they're scared to even read it.
You think that has something to do with the fact that they're scared that they might be wrong?
Well, they don't want to. They only want to. They what word was it? Oh my god, I'm stumbling here. They only want to hang out with people or hear things that are upbuilding, edifying. They don't
Even
want
you
to
had
hear, negative
the
talk.
da- well, they don't want to hear the downtrodden, crestfallen side of it. I can see that in most humanity. Most people aren't attracted to the darker side of things. We'd rather see everything at face value. We'll see light before the darkness, so to speak. But the reality is, while what you say irritates them, and they don't want to defend themselves. But on the other side, when you take those things and you put them into words straight out of the book, if that's the case, then the person just have to concede the argument at that point, even if it is the darker side of Christianity. Let's be honest here. Christianity and religion in general is a man-made invention, and therefore is inherently flawed anyway, especially in the organized sense.
Believe it or not, they call me an atheist.
How do you how?
I have no idea because they've never heard somebody in the middle before. Not an atheist, not a Christian. They never heard anybody not choose a side.
I'd I'd give you maybe agnostic, but that's not true either. Considering you have a belief system, it's just not any recognized form of organized religion. It's like you specifically said that Jesus. You mentioned Jesus as God in a literal sense, not as a joke. So obviously you believe that they exist, which is the antithesis of an atheist.
Well, I believe that God cloned himself. That he created Jesus as a clone.
It's a clone of himself.
Yes.
So then what?
He's.
So what was the purpose of impregnating the Virgin Mary at that point then?
Oh no, that was just because Jesus has a pre-human existence. That was just to have him enter into the world. To become human. I
I
guess he
got you.
couldn't
Okay.
just materialize. But I don't believe the Holy Spirit is a person. I believe it's like the Force in the Star Wars. I don't believe it's a person.
You believe it's more of an entity?
Yeah, it doesn't have intelligence. That's what I'm trying. It's not like you and I where we could think. It's just God's magic, His superpowers.
Okay. So,
Because
and
God
that,
has magic, but it's not called magic for some reason.
so to that extent, then what was the, obviously in Christianity, especially, it's stated that we were created in God's image or Jesus's image, whatever have you. So the clone of Jesus has the ability for clone of God rather in your mindset has the ability to have cognitive thought and abstract thinking, or is it essentially the same as God?
No, well, he has the ability to worship God, worship him. The Father.
Okay.
Because Jesus
Okay.
is he's just a. I don't know if you ever heard, Jesus is just a creature. But the Trinitarians believe that Jesus is the Almighty, that the Holy Spirit is a person. So they worship three entities, three persons. God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit.
Okay. So essentially, God is a three-parter then. Interesting. I
Yeah,
know
yeah.
some franchise here.
I believe that the Holy Spirit is just just
Is the spirit?
his superpowers, the way he does miracles.
So when you deal with Christianity or Christians especially, I'm sure you obviously have a large amount of them. As you stated before, just think that you're joking right off the bat, but there is a
Yes,
certain.
yes. They won't give me the time of day. They won't give me a platform because what I'm bringing to the table is nothing but nonsense. It's not constructive.
what you're presenting to them isn't constructive, or what they believe is constructive.
No, because I challenged atheists. They don't even believe in Jesus, so why would they care what I say about him? I challenged Matt Dillahunty. I don't know if you know who that is.
Nope, don't recognize it.
He,
I tried to, like I
he
said, I
has
tried to avoid a religious side of YouTube.
he has a show called The Atheist Experience. I think I'm not sure. He has co-hosts, and you could call in the show and everything. I asked him to debate me on his channel, and he said, "Call in the show."
I'll send
Have you
you.
ever heard of his sidekick named Aaron Ra?
Nope, can't say I do.
He's some guy with long hair, Aaron, and then his last name is Ra, I think. And he told me he doesn't debate trolls. That he made a whole article that he doesn't just answer anyone's challenge.
I mean, to be fair, you're far fetched. All right, I'll let you have that one. Obviously, you don't seem like a troll to me. I mean, it honestly sounds like you believe the things that you were saying. Whether or not people agree with them is, up
Yeah,
to
yeah,
their own.
because Aaron said that I'm just using him for his venue, for his channel. He said he would debate me if we do it on my channel, and I said I don't have a channel. I told him truth doesn't have a following, and he said, "Whoa, that's a lie."
And truth doesn't have a following. That's an interesting way of saying it. It's poetic almost. But
Well,
the
there's
reality of
an
the
Asian
situation is,
proverb that says that
yeah,
truth has no friends.
well, truth doesn't have friends. I mean, let's be honest here. If humans were always truthful with each other, nobody would get along. I mean, even our best friends, though, we always have that one habit that they do that we really don't like.
Yeah, yeah, because I'm all about getting exposure, self promotion. But I get nothing out of this. I don't have a PayPal. I don't have a Patreon. I just it's a hobby that I do, but not many people participate.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get anything out of it personally myself. I'm not getting any monetary gain out of this. For me, it's just something I spend my time when I'm not at work or doing other projects. So, for me, I just like the banter. To be honest with you.
But I think I do irritate people because I challenge their core beliefs.
Especially
And
especially those with your Christian faith.
yeah, yeah, I'm just aggravating the Christians.
Usually, it doesn't take a whole lot.
There's a lot of hypocrisy.
You find that in just about everything, though. I
I
mean,
would have thought that
there's
Jesus and his daddy would have been different.
well, to be fair, a lot of people probably perceive them differently than you do.
No, because they call themselves perfect, stuff like that. They said that Jesus committed no sin, but I think he committed the sin of speaking in riddles.
Is that a sin, or is that just poor planning?
I think it's just stupid. I think he should have just been straightforward with the people.
Well, then why? Then if he was straightforward with them, he wouldn't have all this beautiful poetry you have in the Bible.
Well, it's like he's the god of chaos, the god of disorder.
Oh, really? I think he's the. So, would you liken it to a kid with a magnifying glass playing with an anthill?
Well, I don't know if he would go that far, but that is what Malthus means, that God is maleficent or something like that. But I believe God is love, God is war, God is powerful, and God is weak. Is that some poetry or what?
You got pretty much all the abstract forms of human emotion down to a series of lines depicting a heavily coveted religious figure of a large and vast network of religious people. So yeah, I think that pretty much hit the nail on the head.
Well, I don't think Jesus and God are out to get me. I don't even think the devil's out to get me. I think that They have their own agenda. They
Their
have
own
bigger fish to fry.
Their own selfish purposes.
Yeah, they have their own agenda.
And to me, it seems that what you're saying, yes, it does seem far-fetched and out there, but then again, so does religion to me as a whole. But I'm sure there are plenty of Christians and other Abrahamic
Well,
religious followers that would lose their shit hearing this.
well, I have a saying that says, "Religion is the root of all evil." So if God is the thing that started religion, He's corrupted Himself with so much power.
That's an interesting take on it.
He let it go to His head or something.
An interesting point is what you're saying is by creating the concept of religion, God Himself actually made Himself evil through basically being drunk on power.
Yeah, basically, if you don't kneel to Him, He takes it personal.
Well, of course, you don't want anybody
That
hurting that
basically,
parental pride.
if you don't know who He is, He takes it personal. He kills people just because they don't take the time to get to know Him or something.
But you said yourself you don't believe that God is an actual physical being. You think it's more of a entity.
No, well, He lives in a spirit realm.
And is this a different dimension than the one we are existing in now?
Yes. We're in the physical dimension or something.
So the physical
Nobody can
dimension
see God and nobody can see God and live. That's what it says in the scripture.
Interesting.
It's all insanity. That's what it comes down to.
Regardless of the fact that he lives in the spectral realm and or spiritual realm, as you put it, and is an entity rather than being this being still feels general human emotions such as anger, wrath, fury, envy, those such things.
I think he does go through some of those, but I don't think he has a conscience.
So,
like human beings do, we feel bad when we commit a sin.
Well, yeah, I mean, unless you're a legitimate, sociopath, but generally, if you hurt someone, if you feel like they didn't deserve it in some way, shape, or form, you generally feel bad. So, what you're saying is that in your belief system, this God has, the ability to feel human emotion, but doesn't have the conscience to go with it.
Well, He's capable of loving. He's capable of hating. He's capable of a lot of stuff, but there was a scripture that says that He regretted creating mankind or the human race because they were so evil. But that's just, I don't know what he's talking about. When he says regret, I don't know what he means.
To be fair, in that sense, mankind is literally evil. I'm not going to argue with you on that one. Of course, evil is subjective. It depends on the person, what some people morally object to, some people don't. But for the sake of argument, there are certain things that most people deem as, inherently evil. Killing, raping, thievery, those things are viewed generally with disdain amongst most people. It's interesting to me that God is viewed in this situation as an omniscient being and all-powerful, yet has the ability to feel human emotion, but not the conscience to know when something was done that was wrong.
Yeah. See, that's why I think people did not have a discussion with me on YouTube, because I don't know how to talk like that. All those words that you just said. All these, what's the definition of this word? What's subjective? I don't know what all that stuff is.
I have a vast grasp of the English language. So if you want me, I can reword some of the stuff if you need me to. I understand. I'm not saying that
some
I'm
people
smart
are all about logic and philosophy. Well, it all comes down to whether you believe it or not. you believe the story or not.
True. I mean, that's the way it works with just about any religion. Though, at the end of the day, I mean, I find most religions, even Islam, the Quran, I find certain aspects of it, some of the poetry and storytelling I find interesting, but I don't believe it. Same thing with the Bible. I find certain aspects of the story interesting, and some poems beautiful, but I don't.
Well, I know the
I don't
Muslims
believe
and
it.
JW have a rule where they can lie to the enemy.
Yes, they do. I don't know what
Something
the hell
about taqiyya.
Yeah, I don't know what the actual word
The
is
Jehovah's
for it.
Witnesses call it theocratic war strategy.
Well, one could make the argument that Islam in of itself is a very war heavy religion.
It's all about defending the faith, no matter what.
Mm. And one can make, of course, make the argument that Christianity has come through somewhat of a reformation over the years versus Islam, which has remained relatively stagnant. I like how my chat has devolved to talking about drugs.
Oh yeah, they
Fucking
lost
guys.
interest.
It's perfectly fine by me. I mean, talk about what you want. Actually, you'd be surprised. That doesn't surprise me because this is my chat I'm talking about. Oh, that said, we've been running for a good 2 hours
Oh
now. I
yeah.
don't know if you want to
No, no.
call it good
I
here
actually
really
left
soon.
my clothes in the washer for 3 hours
You might
over
want to
here
go
in
take
my
care of that.
apartments. Yeah, there's only two washers. Somebody might be pissed off at me, or they took it out to put their own clothes in there.
That's always a possibility. Fuck that shit though. I hate shared washers.
No, because I went out there before the the discussion, and somebody had locked the door, and I lost my key years ago.
So you just slide
And
in whenever the door's unlocked now?
no, because they want $25 for them to give me a new one.
Fucking Chris, the hell they made the goddamn key out of gold?
Yeah, it kind of does look that color, like yellow. The big ones, the ones that say "Do not duplicate."
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
But thank you for your time. I'm gonna go out there and check if somebody opened the door or call a neighbor so they could open the door for me. But I'm gonna rewatch this whole thing so I have something to do for the next 2 hours.
All right, well, you have a good night.
You don't have to shut it down. You could go ahead and have somebody else on the panel, and I'll just go away.
No, you're good. I try to keep these under a certain time limit. Actually, realistically, I try to
Oh
keep it under
yeah,
like an hour and a half. But
yeah, because nobody will watch
people
the
talk,
ending.
time goes by. Yeah, basically that's what it is. And people are like, "Oh,
Yeah,
you
because
guys
I
talk."
was on that April Rain channel a couple days ago, and she deleted the footage, or it didn't stay up. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Her channel gets strikes all the time on it.
She says she gets strikes and stuff all the time.
Yeah, I don't know what she does to piss people off, but
She
then
was
again,
ranting in that video, so she probably got a strike for that one.
that's always a possibility. YouTube's pretty finicky about certain shit.
So I thank you for your time, and I know you're probably like 3 hours ahead of my time. I'm in California.
Yeah, I'm exactly 3 hours ahead. It's 8:41 right now where I am.
So thank you for your time, and send me a message if you get anybody that wants to have a discussion with me. I always try to debate or talk to anybody that is willing.
We'll do. I'll let you know. I'll reach out and see if anybody says anything.
You take it easy.
Yeah, you too. Have a good night.
Okay, bye.
All right, chat. For those out there that were listening, that was an interesting discussion, to say the least. For those of you out there, have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, and/or night, and I will see you possibly tomorrow on another live stream. But definitely Friday to have Ray back to do her usual Russian shenanigans. So have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, and/or night. Take care, you fucking cunts.